Hey everybody, with the Mega Tuesday primaries coming up, I just thought I'd throw my 2 cents in there and make some comments, give you something to think about, maybe even influence the way you vote. A lot of people say that this is already over, Trump's got it in the bag. That's not true. It's definitely his to lose, but not over yet. We got Mega Tuesday, we got some other states coming up with Florida, Ohio, lots of delegates up there for grabs. You could see it come from behind from somewhere. I live in South Carolina, reside there, I vote there, ours is in the rearview mirror, I voted for Cruz, and I just wanted to tell you why. First off, Ben Carson, John Kasich, and a vote for either of those guys, that's going to be a protest vote, and it's just going to help Trump. If you want Trump elected, just vote for Trump. But protest vote don't get you anything. I love Ben Carson, I got the utmost respect for him, I'd love to see a Cruz Carson ticket. But not going to happen. It's time to face facts and face reality. Both these guys need to get out. Even though I don't have as much respect for Kasich as I do for Dr. Carson, they're both in the same boat. I mean, let's face it, there are people who still don't even know who John Kasich is. What's he still doing in there? At least people know who Dr. Carson is. But if you support Dr. Carson, the logical choice, in my book, would be Ted Cruz. But before we get to that, get to Trump, I want to get to Rubio. Rubio seems to be the choice of the establishment now, and that's just another red flag to me. But really, you got that gang of 8, I don't see how you get over that. That was recent history. Now, I know Ronald Reagan himself was a Democrat at one point, but by the time he ran for president, that was ancient history. This is recent history. Gang of 8, and Rubio still hasn't demonstrated to me that he's come around to the right position on this. He seems to be dancing around on what to do with the illegal aliens that are here now. I'm sorry, I can't trust him on that. This is not something that, he's supporting moving to the metric system. This is a big thing. If he had a candidate and the only thing I disagreed with him was the fact that he wanted to go to the metric system, well, I really wouldn't have an issue, as bad as that metric system is, but just as an example, this is a big issue. And now all the party barons are behind Rubio. I don't think he's a guy. Nice enough guy, I don't have anything personal against him, and if he wins a nomination with anybody winning the nomination, they got my support. I endorse the Republican candidate when you get down to it. And the argument about, only my candidate can beat Hillary Clinton. Let's face it, a pile of compost could beat Hillary Clinton. So that's not really an argument as far as I'm concerned. Now, who can beat her the biggest, with the biggest margin? Well, I think that's Ted Cruz, for the reasons that I'm giving. But Rubio, no. You screwed up on that gang 8, buddy. Trump. Trumpsters, I love you. I love Trump. And I feel all the frustration that Trump supporters feel. I'm there with you. We had 8 years of Clinton, and he was running rings around the Republicans, and nothing seemed to affect him. And then we had 8 years of Bush. He was supposed to be our guy. And he didn't fight. He didn't return fire. He didn't defend himself. He had this new tone, and he just wanted to power share. Let Ted Kennedy write the education bill, for crying out loud. And what did he get for it? He got nothing. He got us nowhere. He lost both houses of Congress, Senate, and the House in 2006. And so we got frustration there. And now we got Obama. And now that's like Clinton on steroids. Now we don't even have any opposition to Obama. Look at the last spending bill. For crying out loud. Fight, damn you! And the Republicans have been ignoring or outright defecating on us, the citizens, their base. You got John McCain calling us hobbits, and you want somebody to fight. And Trump has tapped into that. And I get it. And that's what I love about Trump. He doesn't back down. He doesn't apologize. He doubles down and just shoves it right back down the throats of people who's trying to dish you out on him. I got it. But he said make America great, and everybody wants that. Who could disagree with that? Who could disagree with Make America Great Again? Anybody can say that, though. Hillary Clinton can say that. Barack Obama can say that. Anybody can say that. Does he know what made America great in the first place? Hasn't demonstrated that to me. Ted Cruz has. Founding principles, the founders, kind of another discussion. But in short, there's freedom, liberty, and independence. Individual sovereignty. The sovereignty of the individual. Independence not just from a foreign government. We weren't just fighting for independence from a king. We're fighting for people to have independence from their government. And that the government should only be there to protect the rights of the citizens. You know, like I said, I can go on and on about that. It's kind of another discussion, but bottom line, Trump hasn't really demonstrated that that's what he thinks made America great to begin with. So how can you make America great again if you don't understand that? Ted Cruz does, and he's fought those fights in the Senate, as Attorney General, in courts, in Congress. Trump, little Johnny come lately on a lot of things, and some things he still hasn't come around to. Supporting Planned Parenthood, lack of support for Israel, supporting Obamacare, saying it likes a mandate. And then there's a Supreme Court justice opening that was left by the passing of Justice Scalia. I mean, Ted Cruz is the only one I trust with that decision. He's been in the courts fighting a good fight. He knows how to read a judge. He's been at the Supreme Court 9 times and countless other times at other levels. He knows how to read a judge. This is one of the most critical issues that we face. If we don't get the right kind of guy, the right kind of candidate in the Supreme Court for a justice there, you can kiss the republic goodbye. Kiss goodbye the rule of law. You can flush the Constitution down the toilet. We can't afford to have this one wrong. There's absolutely no margin for error on this one. Cruz is the best one we got qualified to make that selection. And he has been consistent, the most consistent throughout his entire career and his entire body of work. He's not a career politician, but he's got enough of a record to know what he's going to do and make that determination. Trump has no record whatsoever. No, he hasn't been a governor or a senator or a representative, so he's got no votes. He's got no decisions that he's ever made in government. So how do you know what he's going to do? Yes, he's a good businessman. Yes, he's got that on his resume and his good record, and maybe he'd make a great governor for the state of New York. But how do you know when he's been on every side of every major issue within the past 10 years? Don't know, and he's still not right on some of the issues, as far as I'm concerned. So, Ted Cruz, he's the guy, and like I said, don't make it an emotional knee-jerk reaction. Don't use your vote like that. Think about it. Trumpsters, more information. Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro has a great video on Donald Trump. Check that out. And if you still support Trump after that, oh, okay. I mean, your vote, but things are too important right now. We got the entire balance of the country hanging right there in our hands. You know, oh, Ted Cruz is a liar. Where'd you hear that? The Trump campaign? Oh, maybe some news, CNN, who hates his guts too? Oh. Well, Donald Trump said that he's a liar. Because people who run for the same office against each other always tell the truth about each other, right? And you can nitpick about Ted Cruz wasn't there for this vote, or I don't like this vote on that one. Again, you got to go body of work. Overall, this has been the most consistent. And closest thing we got to Ronald Reagan. Since Ronald Reagan. So, go Cruz, and Sic Semper Tyrannis.